Hey guys, ViscosComb24 here, bringing you a real quick redstone video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build these. These are my attempt at remaking one of my first ever videos to hit 1,000 views. I remember looking at it and cringing, so I've decided to remake it. And yeah, as you can see here, I've compacted all the doors in that video down. So the 3x3 is now actually 49 blocks in volume, 7 tall and 7 wide. And yeah, I think that's an improvement. And the 4x4 I have managed to compact down to 72 blocks in volume, so it is 8 blocks wide and 9 blocks tall. But as you can see here, this really small 4x4 has a pretty ugly animation and is pretty slow. So I've also made this one, which is 80 blocks in volume, 8 blocks wide and 10 blocks tall, which is synchronized a little bit faster and is just overall a cleaner door. And yeah, I forgot to say this during the recording, but these doors are in the steampunk style. I didn't know that at the time when I made the original video, but I do now know that, and before I forget, yeah, let me just let you all know, these are steampunk. So I guess, yeah, now that you know what we're doing, we should get into the tutorials. So to start off, you're going to want to place down a sticky piston. Now I've elevated it a little bit just so I have some space underneath, but you don't have to. This is going to be on the bottom level of the door. Then place a normal piston facing up right on top of it. You can place 2 temporary blocks and then 2 normal pistons facing in towards the middle of the door. Then break out the temporary blocks. You can actually replace them with an observer facing down and then an observer facing out. You can place a block there, temporary block there, and then a sticky piston facing in with a redstone block on its face. Break out the temporary block and replace it with a dust, and then put your lever there. Now put a sticky piston facing up with a redstone block on its face. Block, dust, and now when you flick your lever, you can see all those pistons extend. And when you turn it off, you can see this fires again, and I'll explain why once we get to that part. Now, put a block there, 2 more, break out those 2, and then place 2 sticky pistons facing down, right there. Place dust all along those blocks, 2 more blocks, 4 tick repeater, and then another dust. Place 2 sticky pistons facing in towards the middle of the door, and then a sticky piston facing down right there with a redstone block on its face. Now, from this sticky piston right here, take an observer output running into a piston, and then have an observer facing up into a block right there. And you can place 2 blocks to fill in the rest of your door frame, and when you flick your lever, you can see it's all completed. Flick it again, you should also see it'll all open. Now this is why you needed the double pulsing, because when this piston deactivates, it deactivates before this one has retracted, meaning it can't pull it. So to take care of that, just have it pulse again. And unfortunately that does result in a weird animation, but this was what I came up with for 49 blocks. So now to get onto your 4x4, you're going to want to first place down a block with the lever on it. This will be your input. Put torches on either side of it, and then flick the lever to on. This should deactivate your torches. Now put a sticky piston with a redstone block on its face right there, and then do the same on this side, but facing horizontally. Now put sticky piston there and there, both facing up, and then 2 normal pistons. You can get out your observers. Place one facing down right there into a block. Do the same thing on this side. Now put a temporary block, sticky piston with a redstone block on its face. Break out the temporary block. Then you can put an observer running into that block as well. And then 2 more blocks. And the reason those blocks are there is because we're using entities that would be thrown out of place if they weren't there to stop them. Now get out your rails, minecarts, and armor stands. Place a rail, minecart, break out the rail. And then before you continue, actually, put redstone blocks, obsidian, normal pistons facing up into the obsidian blocks, and then 2 more redstone blocks on top. Now you can continue with your entity tricks. Place a block with another rail, minecart, break out the block. Block, rail, minecart, break out the block, and then you can put in an armor stand. Now quickly activate and then deactivate your piston, which should drag down the whole stack. Put 3 temporary blocks just like so. 4 pistons, these 2 have to be sticky, but those can be normal. And then activate the back 2. Break them out, break out those redstone blocks, You can break out those two temporary blocks, then use the last one to place in a sticky piston, break it out, and replace it with a stone pressure plate. And now when you flick your lever, you should see this. There you are. You have that side in. Now you can just mirror the whole entity trick over to this side. So start off again with your minecart, rail, minecart, and then you need to break the rail. Struggling. Let's see, there we are. Then block, rail, minecart, break the block. Block, rail, minecart, break the block. Armor stand, power and depower your piston. Now put your 3 temporary blocks in again for pistons. Push them into the armor stand, break them out. You can place in your final sticky piston now. Get out a stone pressure plate and put it right there. And now when you flick your lever, you should see your bottom and both sides are now in. Now the reason we have these two observers facing into this one block is because it is double pulsing the piston, making it extend for just a little bit longer. It's using the same principle as this setup here. So just had to work that in using 2 observers instead of a piston firing in front of an observer. Now, to do your top, it's actually quite simple and straightforward. You can place in your roof for now, then place a block there, break out those 2 blocks, 2 sticky pistons facing down and 2 normal pistons, break out that temporary block, torch, block, torch, 2 tick repeater, and then a 2 tick repeater, torch, block, and then a torch. Now once you have that, you can see that your entire door is done. Now again, because this is a super compacted version, it doesn't have a good animation and is relatively slow. So I suppose we should get on to the slightly larger but much cleaner one. So now to start your little larger but much cleaner 4x4, first start off with another block. This will be your input. Place a lever on it. Then torch to the top and side of it, block on top of that torch, and then flick your lever on. This should deactivate both your torches once more. Now put 2 sticky pistons facing up and then 2 normal pistons facing up. Your observers facing down into blocks on either side. Then place a block there and there, repeater on that one, and then mirror this to the other side. Next to these blocks, you want to put sticky pistons facing up with redstone blocks on their faces. Now put a block right there and there, again, to stop your entities from getting all out of whack. Now put your 2 redstone blocks down, your obsidian pistons facing up into the obsidian, and then your final 2 redstone blocks. Now you can get out your rails, minecarts, and armor stands. Place your rail, minecart, and then break the rail. There you are, get your 3 minecarts stacked. Now place your armor stand. Power and depower this piston. You can put in your 3 temporary blocks, your 4 pistons once more. Power the back 2, and then break them out. Put your sticky piston right there, and then a stone pressure plate right underneath. Now you need to mirror this over to the other side before you continue. So rail, minecart, break out the rail. Block, rail, minecart, break the block. Block, rail, minecart, and then break out the block once more. Place in your armor stand, power, then depower that piston. Place in your 3 temporary blocks, and then put in your 4 pistons. Power the back 2, break them out. Place in your sticky piston, and then replace that temporary block with a stone pressure plate. Now this is very, very similar to what we have over here, but because of this sticky piston pushing into that sticky piston there, it gives 1 tick extra delay, throwing off both the sides and making it unsynchronized and making it a little bit slower. So this right here, while it is a bit larger, it is now synchronized and gives it a much cleaner animation. Now, to do your top, again, just place in these 2 blocks. Sticky pistons facing down, normal pistons, block, break out the temporary block, then torch, block, torch, and then your 2 tick repeater. Mirror this to the other side. And that is it. There's your entire door. Hope you enjoyed this real quick tutorial. I remember making that initial video. I know it wasn't that long ago, but it was one of the first videos on my channel to hit 1,000 views, so I decided to just revisit it now and remake the doors to be much smaller. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this real quick tutorial. I'm ViscosComb24 and I'll see you next time.